I've been just talking about this woman for the last weeks and months and excited about what she's doing. And I could go on and on and on, and I'm going to try not to do that. But a mother, a gun violence prevention activist, a trainer, Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. The list goes on. She's a fighter, and she's also our candidate in America for U.S. House Florida District 1, none other than Gay Valimont. Good morning, ma'am, and welcome to Choose Views.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. Listen, I'll start off by saying thank you for being with us. And thank you for taking the time this morning. We are very, very excited about you being with us today, and listeners all over the country introducing them to you and you to them. But we are just so excited about what you're doing in this race, and I've been saying this for weeks now, that we've got to get behind you and the other two seats there, the one in Florida in the 6th District, and then the one up in New York. I think it's the 23rd. That's the former seat of Elise Stefanik.
Stefanik, yes.
That is the game changer that it will be. If we get one, if we get two, but if we get all three, it changes the world, literally. It's not. That's not hyperbolic. Am I crazy in saying that?
No, that's 100% right. And even two seats could change things dramatically. It's huge.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your campaign, what's going on. I know listeners all over the country want to hear what's happening and what you're working on, what's driving you right now.
Oh, yeah. So our campaign is going really well. I ran against Matt Gaetz in the first election, right? So we knew that I was probably not going to win, but we also knew that he was going to be expelled from Congress or he would have to resign, either one. And so we were prepared, we were prepared for a special election. We just didn't know it was going to be 8 days later. So we were ready to go. By the time the special election started, we were a well-oiled machine, and so we've been rolling ever since. A little bit about me. You're right, I'm an athletic trainer. I work in sports medicine. That means I'm the person that runs out on the football field when somebody gets hurt. I take the ankles, do the rehab, all that stuff. And through that work, I've worked at predominantly black schools in downtown Atlanta, and I realized that black men and boys had to live differently because of gun violence than their counterparts 20, yards up the street. So I got involved in gun violence prevention. I became the leader of Moms Demand Action for the state of Florida. I grew our membership from 12 local groups throughout Florida to 32. We are a staple still in the State House, fighting every bad gun bill from stand your ground to permitless carry. And I turned that experience into learning how to legislate and how important it is to change things from within. And during all of that, my 44-year-old husband in 2020, the height of COVID, was diagnosed with ALS. And as we were trying to figure out how I was going to raise our 8-year-old son alone, because ALS is a 100% fatal disease, my 8-year-old fell down at school and couldn't regain his balance. 10 hours later, we were life-flighted to Miami, to Nicholas Children's Hospital, where I was put in a conference room and told that my 8-year-old son had a terminal brain tumor. And I was there, my husband and my son's full-time caregiver, until each of them took their last breath. And my son's been gone 3 years, and in April, my husband will have been gone 3 years. So after my family was gone and I was sitting in grief, which I will do every day for the rest of my life, I got an alert on my phone that said Matt Gaetz had filed a federal stand your ground bill. And somewhere in my gut, it just turned to fire and I stood up and said, there is nobody better to fight him on this particular issue, and I'm going to run for Congress. And I have. And so that's where we are now. I'm excited because I get to make change. I'm excited because the tides are turning here. I'm excited because we've raised enough money to get our message out. And we have a really good shot of winning this race.
Well, I'm just gonna call you Gay to simplify this. No disrespect at all.
Oh, yeah.
But Gay, I am so proud of you. We all, in one way or another, experience loss through our lives. If we live long enough, we're going to.
Oh, yeah.
And I applaud you, and I'm giving you a big old Chicago hug to let you know that we got you in that space. And I can tell you there are folks all over the country that took pause when you described what you've been challenged with in these last few years. But because you are a fighter and because you believe in the strength of our country and what we all can do when we work together, that is one of the reasons why so many people have gotten behind you and decided that they wanted to support you. I want to touch on a little bit area where you have some expertise that is an area that we're failing dramatically right now, and that's our health system. You've got educational, you've got certification driven, you've got accreditation, you've got the degrees to understand how great we really are when our healthcare system is working and running smoothly. Talk a little bit about that and what you see we've got to be doing in that space.
Well, healthcare should be easy. I have experience in helping my athletes manage, their Medicaid when they have orthopedic problems. But then also with my family, we had great health care, but I was left with $100,000 worth of bills after my family was gone. I don't think that's right. I don't think that people should have to worry when their family is in crisis what they're going to owe at the end. Health insurance is probably the second or third highest bill every family pays every month, and it should be less expensive and it should be easy. Each company negotiates their prices with healthcare companies, and you have no idea what those prices are. I don't think that's right. I think that everything should pay out on one pay scale, because if you're a consumer, you wouldn't take your car in and say, hey, just fix it, I'll pay you whatever it is at the end, right?
Right.
And that's what we're doing with our bodies. And it shouldn't be that way, especially when you go in for an emergency or a sick loved one. You shouldn't come out broke. And so I want to tackle health care. I especially want to make sure that Medicaid is not only kept and funded, but expanded.
Yeah, and that's something that, if we don't do that, if we don't take care of not just the least among us, but take care of all of us. And I love how you first started by saying healthcare is simple. It's easy. It should be something that we don't have to spend so much time and resources figuring out. It doesn't need to be this complicated. But frankly, because of the insurance companies part in it, that has made it's getting worse and worse, not better and better. And
corporate greed.
Corporate greed. And frankly, selfishness by a lot of, let's just be honest, there's a lot of consumers and constituents that are selfish in this space because they don't want somebody else to get something that would be beneficial to them. When in fact, how short-sighted is that of you as an individual to not want your neighbors and your friends and family and colleagues to be healthy? Because if they are, it takes stress off of the entire system, which means it takes stress off of you. And so that's a part where I get sometimes frustrated with individuals, is that why wouldn't you want this for everybody so that everybody is in a better and healthier place? So,
right.
Question on something.
Right. I don't get it. I don't get it either. It is the party of pro-life, and we're not taking care of kids and their health care.
Yeah, pro-life.
We're taking away SNAP benefits from kids that can't eat during the summer. I don't understand the party of pro-life not taking care of the kids that are here.
The gentleman that we're going to have on after you, his name is Dan Summons. He's a managing director of a group called Blessings in a Backpack. And Dan is elbows deep in fighting against children going home hungry on the weekends. So his organization is just deeply immersed in making sure that that doesn't happen and that they have a direct impact on it. But it shouldn't be that way in the first doggone place. And
no, it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. I mean, we know that it is, but it shouldn't be because it doesn't have to be. And we've allowed it to be. And that's a whole nother conversation. And Dan and I will have that. But let me ask you a question about, right now there's chaos going on. And it's distracting. It's distracting so many people from the core issues. And, the federal government is off the rails. There's no question. Let me put it this way. The administration is off the rails. And the gentleman that we had on prior to you, Cliff Cash, talks about the fact that it's by design. Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation, Russia, Turkey are all in our business. So you get elected. What are going to be some of the first things that you are going to be dealing with and working on when you get to Congress?
Well, based on what I hear, and I hear this every day, the cost of living is the first thing. But our district is made up of active duty military, retired military, veterans, and civil servants. Our district has particularly been affected. We have 20,000 federal employees who are on the chopping block, and when they lose their jobs, they're not going to be able to get another job here. They're going to have to move their family out of our district with their money. They're not going to be paying into our small businesses, our restaurants, our grocery stores, and it's going to affect our local economy. Now, our VA is at 140% capacity right now. We have the most veterans of any other district in Florida and second in the nation. We should be setting the standard here for our veterans and their health care, and we're not. So veteran health care, veterans right now is number one. And Social Security. We have so many retired people in this district who live off of Social Security. And the Commerce Secretary the other day making the statement about his mother-in-law missing a check, and she would be fine. She wouldn't even call. But it's the people who call who are chasing those checks that are, wrong.
They're the culprits.
It just is, it is outrageous that these people have no idea how the rest of us live.
Yeah, I mean, Gay, that was when I saw that, it was the proverbial. I wanted to throw something at the screen. And we played the clip and talked about it earlier in the week. And I specifically wanted to lean into the fact that is such a privilege. You talk about this is the contrast that so many people either fail to see or just are willfully ignorant and not seeing. So much of the time, the Democratic Party has just been, they're not talking to the middle class. They're not talking to working class people, everyday people, the privileged left, the elite left. But this dude is a billionaire. And made such a disgustingly awful, hurtful comment about folks who need Social Security, that if they missed a check, that the fact that they would reach out to get some help, that they were the culprits. And that to me was the epitome of privileged, frankly, coming from a rich white dude in America. Talking about the other folks out there would be the ones who are the problem when his mother-in-law wouldn't peep about it. First of all, no disrespect, but disrespect. We don't give a darn about your mother-in-law. We care about the veteran. She's fine. We care about the folks that are in District 1 that would be impacted by that missed check. Not if it were missed for a month. If it were missed for a day. Because so much of what they live on is day-to-day stuff. So
including my mother, and they cannot imagine that $900 a month would change somebody's life. But absolutely, it's unfathomable that these are the people that are running our government that don't understand the struggles of everyday people.
Yeah, and one of the things that I had said is, that much of his ascent has been through the financial group, Cantor Fitzgerald, And many of the, much of the dollars that they manage are through retirement plans that are pension-driven plans. And many of the people that contribute post-retirement to those funds, some of that money comes from their Social Security benefits. And so it was just like, talk about being disconnected and privileged. But we get tagged with being disconnected and disconnected because we don't spoon feed every message to every person that is just being, willfully ignorant or arrogant in some ways.
Right.
So I wanted to ask you another question as you and I rant on about how frustrated we are with what the Republicans are doing. When you look at this race, and I know it's a tough race, and I know the people that are around you, you get the data, you get the information and all that. Are you finding, are you seeing, are you hearing from the constituents in that district that they are ready for a change?
Absolutely. Even Republicans, I'm hearing from so many people, a lot of federal employees, a lot of military who are fed up with wondering if they're going to, are they paying $35 for insulin or not? Whether they're going to get some relief on their college loans or not. People are fed up. People are fed up with everything that's going on. This shock and awe of the dismantling of our government is freaking people out. And these are people that are 55, 60, 65 getting ready to retire. And they're like, what is happening? And what I'm telling them is that we have the opportunity in this district, while everybody around the country is protesting, and rightly so, people should be just as loud as they can. In this district, we have recourse. We can stop this in its tracks. And so everybody has to show up, and we can't be lazy. Special elections don't have probably 23 to 30% of the electorate will show up. That's typical. We are hoping to way overperform. We are hoping that, and we have good data that tells us we will overperform with Republicans, and so I'm excited about that. And I think that comes from 19 months of having conversations with people, Republicans, Democrats, and independents alike, and talking to them like real people. Yeah. I'm not a politician. I'm a normal person just like them. I pay my bills here. I pay my homeowner's insurance here. I know how everybody's struggling. So I hope that resonates with people. I'm just like them. I'm not a career politician.
Yeah. Gay, I appreciate you saying it that way, because folks all over the country that listen to our broadcast need to hear it. So as we wrap up, and I tell you, I wish we could have gotten, I know you've been busy as you know what, but I wish we could have gotten to you sooner, but I'm thankful that we've gotten to you today. And with this last push, with the election coming up next week, can you let folks know how to find you, how to be a supporter of your efforts in these last few days?
Oh, absolutely. You can go to Gay for Congress, that's FORGAYFOR, Congress.com, and it's easy to remember because you can't say gay in Florida, so it's Gay for Congress. Get it? Yeah. And, join us. Make phone calls. We're on the last sprint. We are chasing ballots at this point, and help us make phone calls. And if you can't do anything else, throw us a couple bucks to finish out these last couple days. My opponent is the CFO of Florida. He has endless money that he has not spent, but now he's starting to realize that he better start doing something. So there are 2 attack ads out on me. So that's the first time a Republican has put an attack ad out on a Democrat on the panhandle of Florida. So I'm going to take it as a compliment.
That's right. Gay Valimont, y'all, we're so honored to have you with us. We are sending you a big Chicago hug to let you know that we've got you. And we will.
I love Chicago. Yay.
Yes, that's right. Thank you so much for being with us. We're sending you all the energy and strength that we can to get you across this finish line. So thank you for being with us this morning. And once you win, fingers crossed, we'll have you back and we'll have a nice, cheerful party for you.
I will be back on.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day.
You too, Gay. Thanks for being with us.